Hey there guys, this is Sam
And Justin.
at the Survival Review, and today is Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Best day of the year.
Yes.
And to celebrate this momentous occasion, we're going to be talking about another movie in the Halloween series that we've never really talked about before.
So this year, everybody's making a big deal out of the 40th anniversary of the original Halloween.
Yep.
But this year is also the 30th anniversary of Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers.
Absolutely. It's funny to think that there have been sort of 3 anniversary movies.
Yeah.
You had Halloween 4 was the 10th, H2O the 20th, and now the new one is the 40th.
Yeah. The only one they missed was the 30th.
Yeah.
Only anniversary they missed.
What a shame.
Yes.
But being the first anniversary movie, being the one that sort of follows Halloween 2, this one's actually not bad.
Yes.
Both of us, funny enough, this was our first Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah.
In separate ways.
Yeah.
You can tell your story.
Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. I watched this one back when I was like, I think 9 or 10, and our good friend Uriel, who we did the Power Ranger review with him, that Uriel, where I watched this at his house in his basement because his family couldn't care less about watching R-rated movies, so I just would watch them there. That's how I watched the Terminator movies were at his house.
Right.
And it blew our minds. Like, that was the greatest movie ever. We loved it, and we loved the ending of the movie.
Yes.
The ending is what really blew us away, and we were talking about that ending for weeks on end. Like, I'm assuming how the kids nowadays were probably talking about like, the Avengers Infinity War ending, forever. That's what we were with Halloween 4, a like over 20-year-old movie at that time.
Wow. Yeah, my experience, a little less exciting, but I was at my grandma's house, and it was on probably like TNT or something. They were doing a marathon of all the Halloween movies. And I came in, I didn't even see the whole thing. I came in probably about halfway into the movie. Michael was killing people, and I was like, what the hell is this shit? This is great. I had heard of the Halloween movies, but I had never seen one. And I watched it through to the end, and I was like, oh, this is sick. And they were playing the 5th one right after, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see where they go with this. And it's just like...
Yeah, Uriel and I had at least a little bit of a wait.
For me, it was a commercial break. was the amount of time I had
That's the
between.
worst.
It was so confusing to me, because I'm like, oh, they also threw dynamite in? Like, what is going on? There's like a homeless man. This is terrible.
So yeah, there's a lot of history for us in Halloween
Yeah.
4. But even taking that away, I still think this is a really good movie.
It's not bad. It's definitely among the better Halloween
Yeah.
sequels. For sure.
I always say that like the first 4 movies are my favorites of the series.
Yeah.
The first 4 to me are where the series hit its peak.
Yeah.
After that's where it just kind of goes downhill. I mean, H2O's alright.
With this movie, it's the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
And it very much feels like there's already some nostalgia for that first one. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're bringing things back. Obviously, a lot of people didn't like Halloween 3.
Unfortunately.
Which is a shame because it's the best Halloween sequel.
Yes, it is.
Easily. But I can understand the kind of dislike for that movie because it wasn't Halloween. It
No,
wasn't
yeah.
what people were expecting. And it flopped unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
But with this movie, they bring everything back.
Yeah.
You're back to Michael. You're back to babysitters.
Yeah.
You're back to Halloween in Haddonfield.
It's the same thing that we said in our Halloween 2 review and our Halloween 2018 review. It's the same movie as the original.
Yeah, it's the same movie. There's not a ton of creativity as far as the story goes.
No.
With a lot of the Halloween movies.
You can tell that like all the filmmakers like put a lot of care and effort into this one. Like they didn't just like half-ass. Like, oh yeah, let's slap together a Halloween sequel at the tail end of the slasher craze just to make some more money off this. Like every person tried.
Yes.
And it really shows like on screen.
Absolutely. Including in the actors who...
Yes.
The person who shines the most, obviously, as always, is Donald Pleasance.
Yes.
As Sam Loomis.
He's
And
fantastic.
He's the best in this.
He is.
This has some of my favorite Loomis moments in this movie.
Yes. Like, all of his dialogue is always kind of the same. It's always the same thing. Like, oh, Michael is evil. Like, he's pure evil. But every time, like, they think of a new way for him to say that, and it's still awesome every time he says it.
You're thinking of him as a man. He's evil on 2 legs.
You're talking about him as if he were a human being. That part of him died years ago.
They still find a way to keep it feeling fresh, even though it is the same exact thing.
Yeah,
that
it
you've
really
seen
is.
Before.
The state police won't know how to stop him.
Do you?
Maybe nobody knows how to stop him.
The plot of this one, like we said, picks up 10 years later. It's really weird to think that this is Halloween 4, but this is only the second time Michael has gotten loose.
Yeah.
It's really strange when you think about it that way. But it's been 10 years. Michael Myers survived that explosion at the end of Halloween 2.
Yeah, that's one of the many flaws with the movie is they really just sort of glaze over everything that happened at the end of Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance, like, probably one of the funniest parts of the movie. He has a very light scar on his face, and he holds up his hand, and he's like...
Did you see what happened from that night? It's like, see
and
what
it's
he
like,
did.
you look fine, dude.
Compared to what actually happened, yeah, you're fine.
The explosion incinerated both of you, and we know it. But fine.
Either way, just 10 years later, Michael's in a coma.
Yeah.
And of course, the night before Halloween, he's being transferred because...
Of course.
Why not? Well, first off, the opening credits, which are great. I mean, as you can tell, we like those opening credits. That's like the perfect fall feel. Like, it's perfect. And then even that opening scene, which is kind of cheesy, of them going to that hospital and going to the elevator, going down the stairs, to like this like dingy kind of like place where they're keeping Michael. I like that scene. It has like good atmosphere to it.
One of the people says Jesus, and he's like, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place.
Yeah, it's super cheesy, but it has like a good atmosphere to it. It really works. And while being transferred, he gets loose, of course, and returns back to Haddonfield to kill his niece, Jamie, who is Laurie Strode's daughter, who Laurie Strode, at this point, has died in the car accident, so she's not in the series. Well, going back to the performances, everyone does a really good job, especially Danielle Harris as Jamie.
Yes.
Like, she's really good for a child actor.
Yeah, surprisingly so, because I normally hate child actors.
Yeah.
And she does a solid job.
Oh yeah, she has a lot of like emotional moments where she has to cry and stuff, and she sells it. She's very good.
Yeah, and her screaming, oftentimes I find like kids screaming just obnoxious, but she's legitimately like, you can feel the fear in her, and you're like, oh my god, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And then you have her foster sister, Rachel, who's another real likable character, right?
Yeah, she's not bad.
That you want to see survive and see succeed through all of this.
Yeah.
Then you even have like the new sheriff, who I've always liked Sheriff Meeker. I don't know why, so he's just a cool guy.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not outstanding or anything.
No, he's no Sheriff Brackett. So all the cast like does a really good job, and it doesn't feel like going with like a typical slasher movie cliches. Like there's a little bit of it in there, definitely with like Rachel's boyfriend.
All that stuff with him and love triangle sort of thing with this other girl. And they all get their due from Michael.
There's a lot of really good kills in the movie.
Yeah.
And the best part is that it still kind of tries to like subdue it and not make it as graphic. It still kind of tries to feel the suspenseful like feel of the original.
There are a few moments where they definitely go.
Yeah, they push it a little bit, but they never like push the gore too much in this. Like you think they would, like they did with Halloween 2. Like they scale it back from Halloween 2, which is really nice. There's some big moments, like the truck driver skin, like his neck ripped.
He grabs into his neck.
Yeah.
And like pulls it this way.
Yeah.
Because he does the same sort of thing to the boy.
Yeah.
Where he's just using his bare hands a lot more in this movie.
Yeah.
And it like really makes you feel just the strength of Michael, and you're like, holy shit. God.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, there's a lot of great sequences in this one. The standout sequence of the movie is the one on the roof.
Yes.
That's just a great moment, just like nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking just because like, they just keep falling more and more, and like at one point they're hanging from the roof. Like it's a great set piece, very well handled.
A lot of the stuff in the house as well just feels kind of bringing it back to the original Halloween. It's good to have moments that are just packed into one house rather than roaming around an entire neighborhood. Again, this movie, they were very much just trying to make the first movie again.
Yeah.
One of my favorite kills in the movie, probably maybe my favorite, the girl getting a shotgun through her stomach and pinning her to the wall like the guy in the first movie. Because it's like you see Michael holding the shotgun, and you're thinking, oh, Michael wouldn't shoot somebody. And then he stabs it with it, because of course he would. Of course he wouldn't shoot someone. He's Michael. It's just great.
Yeah, or even just great stuff with like Michael hanging on the top of the truck.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, just like reaching into the car. Just like great moments like that. The original Halloween is very simple. This one kind of does the original Halloween, but like on a little bit bigger budget.
The thing that I found kind of funny is just how awful the students are to her.
Yeah.
There's literally a point in the movie where they're going, Jamie's an orphan, Jamie's an orphan.
How come your mommy didn't make you a costume, Jamie? How could you? Her mommy's dead. Jamie's mommy's a mommy.
She decides to go and get a Halloween costume, even though she's kind of afraid of Halloween.
Yeah.
And she gets the clown costume. And then, like, she goes trick-or-treating and sees one of the kids that was singing this to her.
Yeah.
And then he goes, the clown costume's pretty cool. You want to go trick-or-treating with us?
She's like, yeah, sure. There you go.
What? Okay, that's all she needed, I guess.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good ideas in here that I don't feel like are as well executed as they could have been. There's one scene that really could have led to something interesting, but it's just done as like a quick little scene where, you know, they gather up the kids and everything, they're getting ready to get in the car and drive back to the house, and all of a sudden he looks in the corner and there's Michael Myers. And then he looks over there and there's another Michael, and then there's another Michael, and then it's just some kids like playing a joke and then running away. Now, the fact that like Michael Myers is a normal costume, there's that tension of like, oh, that person could be Michael, that person could be Michael. That's really interesting. Yeah. But it's just one scene, and they act like idiots. Like,
absolute idiots.
Loomis and the sheriff are just like, oh, there's more of them.
Yes. There is one other scene that I think is one of the most funny ones in the movie, where you have all these redneck guys coming down from a bar, going out to hunt down Michael, and they go into a park, and one of them goes, oh, there he is, and they drive into the park and barely see anything, and they all start shooting just an absurd amount of bullets, just all 6 or 7 of these guys shooting all at once, and then they go over there and like, oh, that's Ted. It's like, oh my god.
And that's another thing that's a really interesting idea, is like, how will the townsfolk react to it? So now you had this like almost like lynch mob running around with like guns, and so you have that kind of affecting it, but that really doesn't go anywhere either.
I mean, it comes back into play at the end of the movie, but again, it's just, kind of...
But like, there's some little interesting ideas in there that like I feel like could have been explored a bit more, could have been handled a lot better, but they just don't quite pull it off. So Michael Myers in the movie, I feel like the actor does a pretty solid job. The major flaws with him is the mask, which is extremely bland, and almost feels like a typical mask you'd find at a Halloween store.
Which, I mean, it is a new mask, so I guess it makes sense.
They could have designed something a little bit better. And also they had the actor in this one wear hockey pads to make it look bigger, and there's some scenes where it just looks really obvious and really kind of bad. So then you get to the ending that we keep mentioning. So, first off, the way they defeat Michael, it's kind of okay. They just unload a bunch of guns and bullets on him.
Yeah, just all the lynch mob we mentioned.
And all the cops, too.
Yeah, as well. Everybody is just shooting.
And then he kind of falls down and seems to almost get, like, buried. That's what it looks like, and like, the dirt, kind of.
Yeah.
So they're just like, oh, yeah, he's dead. And they walk away. I mean, it's a little different in Halloween 5, but in this movie itself, they just go, alright, he's dead, and just leave.
We did it. As Donald Pleasant said, he's in hell now, where he belongs. And,
alright.
Okay.
Right, Loomis.
We believe you.
So then they get back to the house. Jamie's foster mom starts, like, setting up the bath for her and everything. And then all of a sudden you see this point of view shot, and you see the mask go on, like the opening of the original. Yep. And the mask just walks towards the bathroom, walks in there, you see like the mom there, and all of a sudden the hands just pick up scissors and just start stabbing the mom. Of course, Loomis and Meeker hear the scream, so they run to the stairs, look up, and it's Jamie. In the clown costume and everything.
It's the perfect way to end it. Just leave it as Michael's dead, and she's his successor.
Yeah.
They kind of set it up in the movie that she's
there's little sets up throughout,
and she's obviously related to Michael. That works. That's perfect.
Yeah, and it's just like such an eerie image of just a little girl in the clown costume holding like bloody scissors.
Yeah.
Like that image just sticks with you.
And the thing especially that sells it is Donald Pleasance's reaction to it. Just so sincerely like devastated and terrified.
Yeah.
And he immediately, without any hesitation, raises his gun to try and shoot her. And Sheriff takes it down because it's a little girl, but oh my god.
But Loomis, he's like almost on the verge of tears. Like it's such a great performance.
Yeah, he tries, he gives it his all.
He does. Fantastic ending, like probably the most unique ending in like the entire series.
Yeah.
Just so well done.
And just a shame that they kind of buried it.
Yeah, the follow-up to this does not follow through on that in the slightest. It's a really solid, like, slasher movie. Yeah. And with some good enough suspenseful moments, like, it really tries, it doesn't get really sleazy or anything. And it has good, likable characters who you want to see survive. You're not just there, like, waiting for them to die.
Yeah.
Like, even kind of like the asshole boyfriend, I wasn't like, oh yeah, kill him. I was just like, no.
That's the thing, is, like, he, in a lot of ways, sort of redeems himself at a point. And it's like... Yeah, these characters aren't completely one-dimensional.
No.
Pretty friggin' good for slasher movie scenes.
Yeah, and it's mixed with some really good sequences. Like, even that scene earlier on where Loomis goes to the gas station and finds, like, everybody dead. You know, like, that was a really good scene. And, like, I like that moment where Loomis is just like, don't go to Haddonfield. Like, you want another victim? Take me.
Yeah.
Like, that was a great moment. And it was really cool seeing Michael with, like, bandages on his face instead of just, like, a typical, like, mask, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
So, yeah, that's about all we've got to say about Halloween 4.
Yeah, definitely recommend it.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if you like Halloween Halloween 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good follow-up to those.
Oh yeah, it really is.
We have our nostalgia for the movie, but it on its own, even without that, it's solid
Yeah.
and definitely worth a watch.
Oh yeah. So happy 30th anniversary, Halloween 4.
Yep. And until next time, we will see you guys later.